Yo, sub! It's that little thing we like to call the Nether Snapshot, and there's a brand new one that has just dropped. With so many updates to the game, it sure can be hard to keep track of everything. So let's go through 15 things you didn't know about the Nether Snapshot update. This isn't just a regular changelog sub. I'm going to be running you through all the hidden secrets and sneaky features that people may not have spotted, and that we'll be seeing appear in the 1.16 Nether update. Number 1. Vine climbs and Kelp help. I'm sure you've seen by now those strangling vines that dangle from the roof of Crimson Forest biomes. Well, you may not have spotted the opposite of those, the twisting vines that appear in warped forests. Here's a fun fact sub, both can be climbed by holding the jump button, and could make for a great way to get a vantage point in your explorations. There's even a new special sound for the climbing. Another smaller update got made to an overworld plant, Kelp, which along with both red and blue vines can now be bone mealed. Number 2. Nether Phobias. The Nether is a pretty scary place. I mean, it was before the update, but now it's even worse with all the new biomes and creepy mobs. However, you'll be surprised to learn, sub, that some mobs in the Nether have a fear or two of their own. The new hoglins spawn in Crimson Forests, but being the lovers of red fungus, any side of the warped fungi will send them running in the opposite direction. This might be useful for creating a border or force field to keep those pesky baby hoglins away. Another mob that you wouldn't expect to be scared of anything is the piglin. These new brutish pig people love gold and have no problem with attacking you on sight if you mess with their stuff. However, everyone appears to be afraid of something. The new soul fire that can only be created on soul soil acts as a perfect deterrent. I don't know what it is that scares them, it's just the burning souls of the undead after all. Number 3. Keep weeping. The new block added to the game, or old block that was added but then removed from the game and now added back into the game, is Crying Obsidian. This block has awesome dripping particle effects, but like regular obsidian, cannot be pushed with pistons. Want to know what the block looked like when it was originally added to the game a few years back? Well, you can. Head into your menu and equip the Programmer art textures, and you'll be able to see the much older and more dated Crying Obsidian texture. Aww! Crying Obsidian can't be crafted, and the only way to obtain it as of yet is by bartering with piglins. Give it a whirl, sub. Grab some gold and get to negotiating. Number 4. Anchors Away. The Respawn Anchor is a brand new block crafted from the previously mentioned Crying Obsidian. Combining 6 of them with 3 glowstone will create a dark purple anchor that can be placed on the ground. The Respawn Anchor can actually be charged 4 times with glowstone, and if you die in the Nether, you'll respawn back at the block with a warping noise, losing 1 charge in the process. If you die without any charges, you'll end up back in the overworld as you would have before this update. Pretty helpful, huh, sub? Now you can take trips to this new and dangerous landscape without having to worry as much about rushing back to get your items. While sub changes up and prepares for an epic conquest, you should consider subscribing. A majority of the people who watch the video never end up doing so, but with us being super close to 700,000, it would mean a lot, to me and to sub. Number 5. Crying Lighting. I just can't get over the anchor block, so let's take another look at it. Like Crying Obsidian, the anchor cannot be moved with pistons. Glowstone also not only controls the amount of respawn charges, thanks for the demonstration sub, but also adding glowstone controls the volume of the anchor as well as the distance of the lighting. Particle effects and a cool portal texture also appear when the anchor is active. Last but not least, the anchor creates a redstone pulse. The strength depends on how many glowstone charges are left. For each redstone, the charge goes from 3 to 7 to 11 to 15. Number 6. Projectile Ignition. I think this is one of my favorite of today's secret features. Campfires can of course be lit with flint and steel and put out with shovels, but now you can light them in many more ways. Unlit campfires can now be lit by shooting a flame bow. They can also be lit by projectiles that are on fire. If you shoot an arrow or trident through lava, it'll ignite and activate the campfire. Number 7. The Ghasts Ball. For years, players have dreamed of casting fireballs like the great flying ghasts of the Nether. Unfortunately, the fire charge has been about as close as we've gotten. Now you can use a command to summon the Ghasts fireball entity. It'll appear stationary in a floating position. You'll be able to fire the ball by batting it in any direction. This directional fire shot could be used for a bunch of fun minigames, or even to mess around with your friends. Enjoy messing with your friends too? Make sure to like the video. Last time our goal was smashed out of the park, so this time we want to try and reach 50,000 likes. Number 8. Target in Sight. The new target block has already been broken down and analyzed, but there are a few secrets you need to be aware about. Because they're crafted from hay, target blocks are actually flammable, so don't go shooting arrows that are on fire towards it. Target blocks are also one of the many blocks that can now easily be gathered with a hoe. Number 9. Target Triggers. Target blocks produce a redstone pulse, the strength of which depends on where you hit the target block. The closer to the center, the stronger the pulse. Why not test your aim in a more unconventional way? Target blocks can now be triggered by rocketing into them with an elytra, and they can also be shot while behind banners. Fancy practicing your aim, sub? Ouch! You got Steve! Number 10. Quick Alerts. The villagers of the Minecraft world are innocent and defenseless, other than their iron golem. They need every form of protection possible. Luckily, the bell has had an update, and can now be triggered and rung by shooting an arrow, or by throwing projectiles such as splash potions or snowballs. Number 11. The Sole Purpose. The new Soul Speed enchantment makes you run faster on Soul Sand and Soul Soil. Pretty cool, huh, sub? The maximum tier is Soul Speed 3, and running with boots enchanted with this will cause the durability to lower pretty quickly, but at least you'll get some awesome trailing particle effects. Have you had a chance to use the Soul Speed enchantment yet? How fast have you been able to go? What videos do you want to see? Let us know down in the comments. Sub wants to experiment over the next few weeks. Who knows what awesome creations he can come up with? Number 12. Bartering Facts. The new bartering feature may be seen as a hit or miss for some, but I have faith that it'll prove successful. Having a new type of way to gain items expands the type of things you need to do in the game. That Soul Speed enchantment we mentioned just now, sub? Well, that can only be obtained by bartering with piglins. You'll remember I also mentioned the same thing applies to the Crying Obsidian, so start stacking up all that gold that you used to think was so useless. I know you may have been wanting to avoid these piglin guys, but it looks like bartering your gold will play a much bigger part in your survival from now on. Aw, see? I knew you'd warm up to him. Oh no! Sub, why? Well, I guess the piglins also dropped the gold you've traded with them if you killed them. Not that you ever should. Number 13. Piglin Woes. Well, let's take a closer look at these piglins. It seems a few have chased you back to the overworld, probably because you killed one of them. Unluckily, when piglins appear in the overworld, they start to shudder and become zombified. Piglins can spawn with golden armor, and if they eventually reach the overworld and transform, that armor will transfer to the zombified piglin form. Number 14. The Nether Nuggets. Nether gold ore has finally been added, and mining with diamond and netherite pickaxes will reward you with classic ore blocks to smelt. However, if you use any lower level picks, it'll actually produce a small number of gold ingots. Number 15. The Laying Fix. Good news, sub, a fix. Not an addition, but a fix. Sound cool? Well, let's take a look. Before this update, fully layered snow blocks, soul soil, soul sand, and a handful of other blocks wouldn't actually register as full blocks in the game's engine. Because of this, redstone buttons, doors, and rail tracks, among other stuff, couldn't be placed down on them. But never fear, now you can. Good job, Mojang. Bug fixes can sometimes be just as useful as those extra blocks and features that are added. We all like a game that works after all.